welcome back to my channel. My name is Emma and today I'm going to be showing you my October TBR. For my October TBR I'm going to be taking inspiration from Siren over at the Bookish Witch, and for her TBR she had a very large pile of books that she just could not pick from, and I feel the exact same way this month. I have so many books that I want to read, but I know I'm probably not going to get to all of them. So I'm going to try and read at least 4 from this stack. I think I've got about 8 books here. However, next week is my reading week from university, so I have the week off of class, and I'm going to try and get as much reading done as I can. I'm also going to be trying to actually get ahead in schoolwork and prep for NaNoWriMo next month, but I'm still going to try and get in more reading than I normally would. So maybe I'll be able to reach my goal, but I'm a little scared. Anyway, let's just get right into it. I'll show you which ones have the highest priority first on my list, and then I'll show you the other ones that I just really want to read in the month of October. So let's get into it. So the first book that I really want to read in the month of October is pretty characteristic of this time of year, and that is Dracula by Bram Stoker. I've had this copy of Dracula for so long. It is gorgeous. It is one of the collections inspired by the Penny Dreadful TV show. They redid the covers of Dracula, Frankenstein, and The Picture of Dorian Gray to go along with the characters that are in that show. Fantastic show, by the way. You should really watch it. But it's so pretty. It's got red edges, and it is just like so cute. Anyway, I'd really like to read this story. I haven't read it before, and I've always wanted to. Vampires are like my favorite scary monster creature, so it goes back to like my Twilight days, if any of you guys actually know me. Those were scary times. I was quite obsessed, but vampires will always have a special place in my heart, so I'm really excited to finally read Dracula. The next book that I really want to get to during the month of October is The Wicked Deep by Shea Ernshaw. The Wicked Deep tells the story of 3 sisters who 2 centuries ago were executed for witchcraft, and from then on have cursed the small town of Prospero in which they resided. Every summer from then on, these girls come back and possess the bodies of other girls in the town in order to enact their revenge by luring boys into the Sparrow Harbor and drowning them the same way that they were killed. The town has just kind of accepted that this is the way it is, and unexpectedly a new boy comes into town and has no idea what he's up against. In the present day, the story follows Penny Talbot, who is a young girl that can see what others cannot, and she ends up having to be forced to choose between saving Beau or saving herself while trying to unravel the mystery of why the town is the way that it is. I've heard incredible things about this story. I've heard it is creepy. I've heard it is a great story of witches and magic and curses, and I'm so excited to give it a go. The next book that I want to read in the month of October is my highest priority. I'm so excited that I finally have a copy of it, and that is Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. I've been wanting to read this book since it came out. I don't know why I haven't, but the sequel, Muse of Nightmares, is going to be coming out this month as well. So I think it's a perfect time for me to finally start reading it. There's been a readathon going on Twitter and BookTube. I think it's hosted by Rachel Marie. I'm not positive, but I'll leave a link to her channel and her Twitter page down below so that you can take a look and see for yourself the details of it. But I've been so jealous of everybody reading it and getting to read Muse of Nightmares, and I can't wait to get into it. Strange the Dreamer tells the story of Laszlo Strange, who is a war orphan and junior librarian who is obsessed with the lost mythical city of Weep. He's always been trying to figure out what happened to Weep to make it disappear a couple centuries earlier, and one day he gets the chance to go on this huge adventure to travel halfway across his world with a band of adventurers to try and find the lost city of Weep. I've heard the story is so atmospheric, I've heard it so lyrical and beautifully written, and I am just so excited to finally read it. It's up next on my TBR, and I will let you guys know what I think of it. Her luck seems to be getting even worse when her grandmother dies alone on her estate, the Hazelwood. Her grandmother is the author of these fairy tale style stories and has a cultish following with many fans, and Alice has always tried to steer clear of the entire world. However, her luck gets even worse when her and her mother go to the Hazelwood estate and her mother is stolen away from her. The person who stole her from her claims to be from the supernatural world of the Hazelwood that her grandmother wrote about, and there's only one clue left when her mother disappears, and that is stay away from the Hazelwood. Alice is forced to accept the help of a fan of her grandmother's work, Ellery, and the two of them have to venture into the supernatural world and fairy tale-like world in order to try and save Alice's mother. I've heard this story is fantastic. I've heard kind of mixed reviews, but I think I'm going to really enjoy it. It reads apparently just like a fairy tale. It's not that big, it's quite small, but the cover is gorgeous, and if any of you guys know me as well, you know that I love fairy tales. I'm so excited next year I get to take a whole class just on fairy tales, and I absolutely can't wait, but I think this book is going to be a really great read during the month of October. Okay, now I'm going to get into kind of alternates and or honorable mentions that I'm going to try and get to during the month. If not, they'll just have to wait until November. But the first book in that pile is going to be This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. I don't know a ton about this book, but I know that the basic premise is that it's set in a world where monsters are created every time a crime is committed. And the worse the crime, the more terrifying and terrible the monster is. But I know that it's a story of two characters, August and Kate, who both kind of toy the line between good and evil. They're some of the only two people that can see the other person's side of the story, so like can see into the human and monster worlds that they don't belong in technically, and they both have to work together to try and save their city. And I've heard it's fantastic. I've got the sequel here as well, and I can't wait to read it. What really got me started with thinking about reading this was listening to Katie over at Katie-tastic read the whole series during a readathon, and since then I've just been wanting to read it, but I haven't seemed to have the time, or it hasn't been on my radar. But I think during the month of October it'll be great, seeing as it's got monsters and it's got a lot of like a huge dichotomy between good and evil, which is always fun to read during the month of October, and I can't wait. The next book that I'm going to try and read during the month of October is one that I've talked about a couple times on my channel already, and that is Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik. Spinning Silver is a kind of loose retelling of Rumpelstiltskin, and it follows Miriam, who is the daughter/granddaughter of a money-lending family that has gone deep into debt. There was an unfortunate boast about her ability to turn silver into gold, and it draws the attention of the leader of the Starik, which is the cold fae creatures that live in the kingdom next door. Miriam is set a task by this unnamed king that seems impossible, and it ends up spinning a huge web that involves both her kingdom and the Fae kingdom alike. And in combination with one of the secrets of her own czar, could lead to the destruction of both kingdoms if Miriam doesn't help stop it. Again, I love me some fairy tales, I love me some retellings, and I think it'll be a great read during the month of October. The next book is another book that I've been talking about for a while, and I really want to read it during the month of October, and that is The Dreadful Tale of Prosper Redding by Alexandra Bracken. The Dreadful Tale of Prosper Redding follows Prosper Redding, who is considered to be the most unexceptional member of the Redding family, until it is discovered that he's got a demon named Alistair living inside of him. Turns out one of Prosper's great ancestors made a deal with a malefactor, which is a demon that dispenses immense wealth in exchange for eternal servitude, and that same ancestor broke the deal. So Alistair, for the last few centuries, has been trying to bring down the entire Redding family, and decides to make himself known in Prosper because he thinks Prosper will be the perfect vessel to take down the family. Prosper has to work together with his long-lost uncle and his daughter Nell, who's a witch in training, to try and dispel this demon before his family and himself are destroyed forever. This is supposed to be a super spooky read. It's a middle grade story. It should be a pretty quick read, and I've heard nothing but good things about it, so I really need to just pick it up and finally read it. I think the idea of the demons and curses and other types of spookiness will be a great read during the month of October. Finally, the last book that I'm going to try and get to during the month of October is The Lanterns Ember by Colleen Hook. The Lanterns Ember tells the story of Ember O'Dare, who's a secret witch. And she's always been drawn to the one bridge in her town that is guarded by a man named Jack. Jack has only one goal in his seemingly immortal life, and that is to keep everybody away from this bridge because it leads into the other world, which is filled with fierce beasts and all sorts of other terrible nastiness that will certainly kill everybody. But Jack seems to be really horrible at his job because he seems to fall in love with everybody who comes across the bridge. Ember decides not to heed Jack's warning and ends up wandering into the other world, and Jack has to try and follow her into it and save her from the terrible beasts, or else he will lose his one true love forever. I really like Colleen Hook's writing, and this story seems so fun. It also has that type of fairy tale vibe, and any story about witches is going to be perfect to read during the month of October, so I mean, this seems to be a perfect fit, and I'm really excited to try and read it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Please like this video and comment below telling me which books you'd like to read during the month of October, or if you have any thoughts on the books that I mentioned in my video today. Please share this video and subscribe if you enjoyed. I make new videos every Monday and Friday, and I hope you guys have a lovely day. Bye.